Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be making a air water separator for my air compressor system. So I recently moved shops. It's about 10 miles from my old shop location, which I believe was at a little bit higher elevation. So it didn't have any water problems at all. My air compressor never had any water in it. I never had any issues with water. Moved here. There's a river probably 5 miles away, and my air compressor just literally will fill halfway up with water. And when I drain it, it comes, you know, this creamy stuff comes out of it. It's just a really big nightmare. So here, I put a little bit of air pressure in here. Yeah, look at this. The whole thing is, it's been up here before because I drained this one time and it was gallons. It was probably like 7 gallons of water that was in there. So, and it's all like this creamy color. Must be some oil coming out of the compressor because this thing's a dinosaur. But what I'm going to do is try to resolve this issue today. So what I got is I have this Husky, I think it's like a 30-gallon air compressor or something like that, 28-gallon. You can get these things for practically free. I got this thing for 25 bucks. And the reason being is they're pieces of junk and they always spin bearings or have rod knocks. So that's exactly what this one has. I could run it until I throw a rod at it. That's not a bad idea. Let's do that really quick. I don't want to get anything into the actual air compressor tank, so I pulled this off. But surprisingly, it doesn't sound like it has a rod knock. It's supposed to have a rod knock. I just pulled this thing out, just like a little rock catcher, I'm guessing. But these things, they don't have a filter on them. No wonder why they don't last very long. So air goes in here. Whoever bent that pipe at what's this company called? Husky? Man, he did a great job right there. That's some quality bends. She actually lasted quite a while. Broke this housing and then broke the piston off and all that stuff, but now what I'm going to do is remove all of this. I now have the Husky air compressor 100% stripped. Now it's technically a Husky tank, but to buy one of these tanks this size, it'd be more than 25 bucks. So it's really nice that these are so cheap out there because you can use these tanks for a bunch of different uses. It's like, I think 25 to 30 gallons. So that'll help out with air pressure and keeping, you know, this old air compressor needs to be replaced. But for now, I need an air compressor. So for what I'm doing, it's going to work just fine, but eventually I'm going to replace that with a nice new bigger air compressor. And all of these PVC lines are a big problem. I was talking to I believe it's RTI. They have an air drying system, and I'm probably going to end up getting that as well. But they were saying that all these PVC lines make a lot of condensation because the air compressor is really hot. Then it's like a PVC line, plus it contributes to contamination because the PVC, I guess, degasses as well. And then the PVC, you see how that one's drooped right there? It holds water, and then if it gets enough water, and it'll just push that whole like full thing of water into your air hose. That's the whole point behind doing this. Over to get some fittings. I love driving the FC. I don't drive her enough, but I need to go get some gas really quick because she's not very, I guess, I don't know. I've never checked the mileage because the odometer hasn't worked since I own the car. Right over here at Harbor Freight, let's go in and get some fitting. So I ended up getting this to hold the air hose. I also got 2 small 3-foot air hoses and a bunch of fittings. Now back, and I totally forgot that this tank had this handle on here. So the whole reason behind buying this was to hang the hose on the tank instead of having hoses hung all the way, you know, all over the shop. But I'll just use this to wrap the hose around. It'll be really clean. Instead of making this fit, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to make a bracket. This works perfectly fine. So I also got some short 3-foot hoses right here. And I was gonna get them both in black, but they only had one black one, so I got them both in red. everything is now mounted to the tank, and I just realized that this could also be used to fill tires up. So instead of using like the small little tiny ones that you have to go back and forth a million times, I think this is like 25 to 30 gallon tank. This will be really nice because I put a shut-off valve on it. It'll be nice clean air, and it also, you know, has the wheels. The handle also holds the hose. Very convenient. I just ended up using some thin aluminum. I guess it's not really super thin, but thin aluminum to make the brackets. Came out really nice. And then I used riv nuts. So I'll put a link in the description for the riv nuts in the gun. They're just M6 riv nuts and then just some M6 hardware. Most of the time this stuff will come with the hardware. I almost wasn't able to find this bracket because I usually just throw these things away, but luckily enough I found it. So we're all mounted up and ready to go. So what I'm gonna do is test this thing out, run a bunch of air through it, and I need to blast these 2 rotors that I got for the Hellcat station wagon over there, and I need to Cerakote them. So last time I blasted the other ones then I noticed they're damaged. There's water starting to come out of the hose in the blasting cabinet. When you're doing blasting, water in the media is never a good thing. So let's get these blasted. It'll be a very good test for this because a lot of air is going to go through it. Just got finished blasting the second rotor, and this is so much better. No water has come out yet. I want to look at this over here to see if we're collecting any condensation. Looks like a little bit, not as bad, but let's go to the secondary filter. And this was already, these were already pink, but yeah, there's nothing, no condensation in this one, which is really, really good. So I'm really happy that I ended up doing this, because if you go and buy like there's all kinds of different dryer systems. I know I do have a dryer pre and a dryer post, but there's just so many different dryers, and this is just a very cheap option if you're not doing like a body shop. If you're just in your garage, you easily find like a broken air compressor off of Facebook Marketplace and just convert it into something really simple like this. Plus it also works as like something to fill tires up with if you have an air compressor inside, don't have a long enough hose. Like trailer tires, you can pump this thing up to, I think that tank's rated for like 125 PSI. Be great. So then you can pump your trailer tires up to 80 PSI and not have to worry about running back and forth a million times. So if you're interested, I'll put some links in the description for some stuff, but very simple to do. $25 broken air compressor that we broke even more. And then you could just make like super simple mounts. I got these regulators. I've had these regulators. This is like an older one from Harbor Freight, and this is like a newer style, and now they have like the newer style. So I'm going to end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below. As always, see you guys next time.